And I like to think that it's because crypto is doing well. But lately we've been getting our ups and downs, which are like completely normal. But let's get into it. Right now, the overall global crypto market cap. Oh no, what's going on with coin market cap? Okay, I swear I just saw it at like 3.4 trillion. Yes, okay. So, okay, what is it? I hate it asking me always, I don't want additional cookies. Anyways, for those of you guys that are new to my channel, I do a lot. So there's a lot of different playlists here. You are more than welcome to check them all out. Definitely make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Ring that notification bell, hit that like button, all that good stuff if you do enjoy my watching my videos. And yeah, most of my live streams, I just like to talk about whatever's on my mind. And it's usually stocks and crypto, and especially crypto because we are on a crypto bull run right now. That is 2024. Don't know if it's going to last till 2025. Technically, I was expecting to wait until the end of 2025 for all this to be happening. And now we are just in uncharted waters and nobody really knows what could ever happen. And I want to share with you guys a couple things I learned about recently and how I'm piecing things together. And I'm realizing that literally nobody knows. Nobody ever knows what's going to happen. Like in the short term, as in like your friends, your family members. Well, depending on how old your family members are. But honestly, like just between you and your friends, especially if you're like under the age of like 40, I feel like you only know so much. You only, as much news as you may take in, most of us, just mere mortals, only know what's like ahead of us. And yeah, okay, you could say like, if you're like 40 years old right now, you probably like went through like a lot, right? You went through the dot-com bubble, you went through the '08 crisis, you went through the pandemic. Like there's just been a lot that you dealt with and it almost feels like you know what's going on, but I don't think so. I think the sad truth is that there's so many like invisible strings in our markets that you may think you know, but you don't really. And to be honest, there's so many ways that you could have made a bunch of money like 20 years ago, right? You could have made a lot of money through real estate. You could have made a lot of money through crypto. And that crypto hasn't even been around for 20 years is the crazy part. And then of course you could look up like just how much you would make. Have you like invested? There's always those articles that's like, if you invested $1,000, how much money would you have now in Bitcoin and Nvidia and all that. And right now Bitcoin does have the greatest return rate. If you did invest like 10 years ago, even if you were to compete that with Nvidia is the last like comparison I saw. So basically Bitcoin is one of the greatest investments of all time, but only up until now. So it's pretty much just cherry picked data, right? You could like, if you go back far enough in time, maybe there's something else that beats out Bitcoin. I don't know. You figure it out for me. Let me know down in the comment section below if you know better than I do. But yeah, right now we have the overall global crypto market cap. Even though lately it feels like everything is crypto, like if you watch my short video about just like how insane all this stuff is, I literally have never seen so much crypto like ads in my life. And this is coming from someone who like, I did YouTube since like 2020 and 2021, but like a lot in 2021 about crypto. And even then, I don't think I saw this many ads. And mind you, that was a time when we had like FTX and everything. And then FTX like fell apart in 2022, was it? So really, I'm just trying to say, you gotta be careful. Like things might seem like all great and perfect in the moment, but you really just don't know when it can fall apart, because I guarantee you, if you were not part of 2021 crypto run, and if you don't know what FTX was, it was a really huge deal, okay? The guy, Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, he's in jail now. He's in jail. Supposedly, I think allegedly they say he's like nearby P. Diddy or whatever. But he's in jail now, and he was on Forbes, like one of the most successful people at the time, I think in like 2021 before all of it went down, or maybe it was the beginning of 2022, before all that stuff went down, and you just really, really never know. Again, not jinxing anything that we have going on right now, but we are officially above the global crypto market cap at the time. I think in 2021, all-time high when Bitcoin was like 69,000 and Ethereum was like 4,800. It's kind of sad that Ethereum still is like not even 4,000, but whatever. So even at Bitcoin's height and like Ethereum's height, which by the way, they were much closer in terms of their dominance, versus now there's a huge discrepancy. Like Bitcoin just shot all the way up by itself and then kind of left Ethereum in the dust. And I really, really pray for Ethereum. But anyways, at the time, I remember the overall global crypto market cap was like maybe like 3.1 max trillion. Now we're at 3.46 trillion, which is wonderful, but still not a lot. like I would assume even more with like just like all the news lately. So I just can't really place where we are currently at on this bull run. It could be the very beginning. And I think a lot of very, very unbelievably bullish people are saying that we are at the beginning of this bull run. And then we have some folks that think this is the end. It's not even going to go towards 2025. And I just like to listen to all opinions and kind of like decide how I feel about it. I don't feel like we are in the beginning, because it feels like the beginning went by a long time ago when Bitcoin was like over 80 something thousand dollars, right? So now it's almost reached $100,000. It went to like 99,000, I believe. So almost there. It's just kind of like teasing everybody. And we're just like, I don't think we're in the beginning. I do not think we're at the end. We're like somewhere in the middle. And then that's what makes it, I guess, all the more scarier, because I was heading into like, I diamond handed some, not all my crypto positions, but I diamond handed a lot of crypto positions from 2020 and 2021. And going into like basically this through the beginning of this year, even when we had that crazy rise in March, remember when that happened and everything crashed again? So through this whole year, pretty much I've been thinking about crypto. And in the last 3 years, I had this belief system of like, okay, 2025 is going to be the year. 2025, another president, or it could be like Biden again, I don't know. But I was like, 2025, we're gonna get a rise, because that's usually the every 4-year cycle. That's the thing that everyone's been talking about since I got into crypto in like 2019. I've always been painted this like fairy tale of this 4-year cycle. So what happens now? And if everybody who believed in crypto back then, or the newcomers now, are being fed like the same information that I was, I think everybody is believing in like November, if anything, October of next year. And I really pray that everything does work out the way that it's intended to, or as rumors state, and everything is supposed to go up. But then what if it doesn't, right? What if everything flip-flops? By the way, for those of you guys that are currently in this chat, really appreciate it. Smash the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Hi there, Lord Michael. Thank you for supporting my channel. But yeah, so I don't know I don't know the future. I never knew the future. If I did, then I would have diamond handed a lot more Tesla stocks and a lot more Apple shares back when I was buying it during the pandemic, because it only got higher. So I have no idea, but I'm just going to say, I hope that the prophecy is true and Bitcoin and Ethereum go to new all-time highs just like they did 4 years ago. And we're going to get that hopefully in 2025 of November. I'm okay with December too, or even October. But if it happens much sooner than that, would be like a bigger problem. Like right now, I'm predicting that if Bitcoin and Ethereum actually end up hitting their all-time high of this new 4-year cycle, either like right now in December of 2024, or like sometime next year in 2025, but nowhere close to actually October. So like, let's say you have it in the summer, which I highly doubt, because if you look at the charts for like the summertime, I don't know why, but it just usually sucks. But let's just say like you get an all-time high somehow in like February, right? And then if that is the peak, like if Bitcoin somehow goes to like $140,000 or $150,000 by February of next year, that is going to be crazy. And I think it's just really, there's going to be like probably like the main ending would be, I think people are going to become even more bullish than they already are. We're going to get a lot more FOMO buyers, just like, I don't know, putting their entire life savings in it, which I highly do not recommend. You should only play with money you can afford to lose. Okay, that's a rule that I tried to follow, but there are financial advice on my channel, entertainment purposes only. So I definitely can see that if it does happen, okay, if it does happen, I think it's actually going to screw over more people than it would if it just occurred in like that similar time length that I'm talking about. Like if we get to all-time high for Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm talking about only because altcoins are weird. Like around October, November, because if Bitcoin and Ethereum goes to new all-time highs and Bitcoin goes to like 140,000 in February of 2025, and let's say Ethereum, oh Lord, if it goes to even 10,800, I'd be very happy. But let's just say like 10 grand. Okay, like it goes $9,000 by February, and then all these people start putting in their money. Right? They put in all their money. Maybe they're like moving their 401ks and they're putting all the money into Bitcoin because now they really believe the cycle, and they think it's going to happen still in November of 2025. And bam, if it doesn't, we're all screwed. So I definitely could see that happening more likely, like what do you guys think? Let me know. I'm not on a computer right now. You're just talking to me on a phone. So it's too much work to do the polls. So you let me know down in the comment section below or through the live stream chat right now how you feel about it. Like, do you agree with me that a lot of people are going to be screwed over? Shall we get to new all-time highs in February and it doesn't actually happen winter of next year? Or do you think everybody's just going to be fine and dandy and they're going to be smart enough to like cash out at the top? Because as if any of us knows where the top is at. Like that's I think the hardest part is just not knowing where the top is at. And I never know where the top is at, but I'm always trying. So it's really easy to get burned when you don't know where the top is at, which is never, ever. Major FOMO. Dorico Brown, hi there. Stephen Berry, welcome. William. Arsenio's Way, welcome. Michelle. So yeah, there's a lot of FOMO going on, and I don't blame you guys because like when you look at the news, okay, first off on the coin market cap, we are at 78% greed, which is great because it's not even like at 100. I don't know if it actually goes to 100 to be honest, but the dominance for Bitcoin is wild at 54.73%. Again, Ethereum is far behind from back in the day when it was like at least 4,800 and Bitcoin was 69,000. So that discrepancy is just growing further and further apart. I don't really know what that means. If that means that one day maybe Ethereum is going to be knocked off its #2 spot and be taken over by XRP because XRP is absolutely insane. Okay, like I have full regrets. I have full regrets on not buying more at 20 cents. Because if you know my story, I bought Ethereum and XRP. If you've been with my channel long enough, you know that like my first 2 cryptocurrencies ever purchased was Ethereum and XRP. Why? I have no idea. I just like the chart. Okay, I like the chart, and I was also told that like at the time in 2017, I think, when XRP kind of reached its like all-time high, around the time it reached its all-time high, over $2.50, and all these people were crowding in, and there's a lot of bag holders. I heard there's still some bag holders. But basically at that time, there was all these rumors that XRP is going to be working with the banks. I don't know if they ever ended up working with the banks, but just purely off that news, I basically read that as like my personal Lucy interpretation. By the way, I don't do tech analysis or anything. So I don't know what I'm doing. I just go by the vibes. But basically I read that to me as to mean that I don't know who these XRP like folks are, the creators, the founders, the people that work in there. Like, I don't care. But then I do see that as a huge green flag. The fact that they would even be dealing with banks, right? The fact that they would even have their numbers. Not like I ever expect to see a piece of news going like, PayPay about to be at your local Bank of America. Okay, no offense to PayPay. I still like it. I've been trading in and out of PayPay, so can't really hate too much. I do like it. I'm salty because I wish I kind of got in like way earlier. But anywho, so that was like my main reason for like really ever investing in XRP. And then when it dropped, and I think when I bought it, it was like 30 cents. And then when the news came out that the SEC was investigating it, that was during the pandemic, and then everybody kind of tossed it away, it went down to like 20 cents. And then I added more. My only regret is that I didn't add more because if you bought at 20 cents, it's like more than $2 right now. It's $2.55. That is a 10x. Like, how many 10x's do you get in a lifetime? Not a lot, folks. Just kidding. You actually get a lot. I did get 10x, like in stocks and in crypto, and more than once, more than 3 times, more than 4 or 5 times. And let me just tell you, the hardest part is to sell, because like when you're up so high, you just want more. Like when I was up more than 20x on NEO, the EV Chinese stock, I really just should have bounced. But I was naive. I didn't know how rare that was. Okay. And then everything fell apart, and then all the EVs started to drop, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess that doesn't happen that often. I should have just count my blessings and then, took the tendies out. So again, if you are new to trading, as somebody who hasn't even been in for that long, I just like to say, if you are making life-changing money, I hope you are taking some tendies out and putting cash aside, because you really don't know when this whole entire thing just falls apart and falls on you, like quite literally, or at least that's what it feels like. It feels like the whole world is falling apart, and like, I don't know, that the system is glitched when everything is dropping, but that day will come, my friend. That day will come. Not to be the bearer of bad news. Oh, thank you. William likes my shirt. It's very old. I don't know why. But I think I just really like the shredded parts here. It reminds me of like spaghetti, and they look in love. I don't even know what that says. Is it I love us? I don't know. It's cute. Okay. So XRP is currently at number 3. We got Bitcoin at 1.89 trillion of this 3.46 trillion overall market cap of all the cryptocurrencies. Actually, does it say how many different types of cryptocurrencies we have? It used to, or it does on my computer. I don't see it anymore, but I used to count. I remember back in like 2021, it went from like, I think hundreds to thousands to like, I don't know, probably like over 100,000 by now. Literally feels like every other day there's like a new Doge wannabe, cat coin, I don't know. But now there's chill guy, so yeah, I'm into chill guy. We'll see how far that goes. But anyways, Bitcoin at 1.89 trillion, Ethereum at 430 billion, XRP at 146 billion. And really, okay, I'm just being salty because I don't have XRP anymore because I sold it. I sold it earlier this year. Not at a bad price, but yeah, like I could probably have 2 new used cars right now had I not sell my XRP. So yeah, I guess the real lesson here is, you know, maybe some other people can time the market. When I try to time the market, I just end up wishing that I had diamond handed. Like almost every single time. Every time. Works like a charm. Yeah, I still do it though. I still do it because I can't help myself. And I know why I ever paper hand. I paper hand because like it takes is just like really one experience, right? Like I started to paper hand more and more, I feel like, after experiencing Dogecoin from 75 cents back in May of 2021 when Elon Musk went on SNL to a year later, it literally dropping to like 5 cents. So I think once you've experienced that, it does something to you psychologically. And I went from like fearless Taylor Swift to just paper hands. I don't think she has a song for that. But anyways, 1, 2, 3, XRP's at number 3. And really, as much as I hate the fact that I'm not a part of the XRP gang anymore, actually just kidding. Oh, I was just telling my SO about this yesterday, so I'm going to share with you guys. You know when you're like a kid and then like, okay, I don't know if you did this, but I used to do this. I don't do this anymore because it's totally weird and I don't know, things could get wet. But I've dealt with like water floods, so I don't want to do that anymore. But when I was a kid, I used to actually have like shoe boxes and like little like, I don't know, I have like little paper boxes or shoe boxes and I put money in it. Or just like hide money in different spots, or I'll have like little piggy banks. I had a cat piggy bank, which I broke. It was so cute. It's like this Japanese, super cute, like lucky cat that I won, I think at like a white Christmas party or something like that. White elephant party. What is a white Christmas party? Anyways, so I used to have like all these little piggy banks. And I feel like as an adult now, even though I don't do that anymore because like I've had floods before. So like, you know, if it was a paper box and it had money in it, it'd probably just all get wet. But now everything's digital. And now you can have these digital wallets. And now my version of digital wallets and having these like, basically my adult version of these like piggy banks and money cat banks, I had a Coca-Cola bottle. It broke too. It was like from the Coke shop in like Florida. It was like this Coke bottle, plastic, like this large, and I put all these coins in it. It was awesome. So yeah, like my adult version of all of that right now, and is very useful, I think, is just having different apps. I have tons of different, like I have Coinbase, I got Binance. I think I still have KuCoin, I forget. But also like my Webull trading app, my MOOMOO trading app, those are for stocks. And then also Robinhood, of course, where I do stocks and crypto trades. I just have like all these different platforms, and I have hard wallets and multiple different cold wallets and hot wallets. So I feel like the way that I have different piles of things to the point where I don't even know some of the stuff that I have is actually a fairly good thing, because like I said, I sold like majority of my XRP, but then I forgot that I actually still had some XRP in this like random wallet, and I saw it yesterday and I told myself, I was like, oh my God, thank God for like just having wallets and forgetting about them. So I don't know, maybe that could be a tip for you. Either you do it with your real cash or your gift cards or whatever. It's just nice to have some cash on the side, whether it's cash or crypto. It's nice to see that maybe something, actually, no, don't do that with cash. I don't think it's a good idea to do with cash, because cash just really just gets devalued and inflation. So like you wouldn't end up with more, you would just end up with like less. But in terms of like crypto, yeah, that could also one day you could wake up and like open up your wallet and you'd be like, oh my God, all my money's gone. Because maybe that also actually did happen to me in 2021. Like people would send me these coins that were like popular for like a second, and then I wouldn't even cash it out because I'm like, oh, maybe it'll go higher, and then I look at it like a couple months later and it went from like $1,000 to like $10. So that also happens. But just want to leave it out there. Sorry, I'm like so much random stuff to talk about. But I'll try to get it all out there. Okay, so right now we also have, so it was really crazy that XRP beat USDT, because if you remember my older videos, like I kept telling you guys, this is my theory from like 2021, that if USDT ever gets dropped from the number 3 spot, that is really bullish for crypto, because like personally, I think that USDT was at number 3 for the longest time, like right behind Ethereum. It means a lot of people just kind of had their cash on the side. Like they didn't really believe in crypto enough to put it in crypto. They had it on the side as cash. So now that USDT finally got dropped from its number 3 spot and at 134 billion, which is still like crazy. But it feels like maybe more money is being taken out to be moved into crypto and whatnot. Because I remember at like the most bullish point of like 2021, USDT was not number 3. I think it was Binance, don't quote me. But yeah, now it's just crazy to see something else that is not Binance, not USDT, but XRP at number 3. I think Dogecoin for a second there, when it was like 75 cents-ish, it was at the number 3 spot. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it was. But right now, Dogecoin's at number 7 at 60 billion. But honestly, I never expected XRP to go this high. Like, I know the people who always believed in XRP, like they knew this was going to happen or whatever. I didn't think this was going to happen. And I just think it's quite amazing. And it really makes me feel like, okay, double up on Doge isn't even that hard at this point if XRP could be at like 146 billion. Because Dogecoin's at 60 billion, and if you were to 2x that, that would be what? Like 120 billion, which would still only put it at the number 4 spot. At 100, actually no, at 120 billion, if you were to like 2x the market cap of Dogecoin, it would only be at the number 5 spot, taking it from Solana right now, which is at 106 billion. Because USDT is at 134 billion. So yeah, kind of gives me more hope on Dogecoin. ADA is climbing up fast. It's right behind Dogecoin at number 8. I never knew Tron could stay this long on like the top 10, but I guess the founder, the Justin Sun dude, is all over the news. I don't know if that like plays a part in it, but his whole buying a banana, that banana is like, I don't know, is it $6 million or 4 million or 5 million? I don't know. But it's a lot, and he ate it. That's like, I know too much about this person that I don't buy coins from. Like, I don't buy TRX. I know people who buy it. I don't buy it myself. Shiba Inu, I heard, did pretty well recently. It's down right now. A lot of things are just kind of like, But Shiba Inu is at 6.59 billion in terms of market cap at number 13. We have seen it a lot higher than this, obviously, during 2021. H-bar went up a lot, 13%. And I don't know what SUI is, Sway, also up crazy, like 16%. Jasmine, you guys know I like Jasmine. Jasmine I know is up, but I'm not selling it because I really want it to be the Japanese Bitcoin. Like, I don't think the Japanese government ever will come out and say, like, we love Jasmine, but I am praying one day that that does happen. I guess, anyways, we're like the major things. Oh, okay, this is major. So this is really like, I guess this is kind of bearish actually for the markets, but I just want to share with you in case you didn't know. But this is from BinCrypto.com. US moves 1 billion in Bitcoin to Coinbase, potentially threatening Trump's reserve plan. So I don't know, long story short, didn't Trump say like he doesn't want to sell any of the reserve Bitcoins or whatever? If they seize Bitcoins and whatnot, they're not actually going to be selling off those Bitcoins, therefore kind of preserving the price of Bitcoin, which Michael Saylor will probably be pretty happy about. Like, that's all I know about like Trump's ideas and plans. But then again, like, nothing against like Trump or Biden, but you know, politicians, like sometimes they say things and then they go back on their word, like kind of what Biden's doing with his son right now. Like, I heard he wasn't going to pardon him, but then he did pardon him. So, you know, politicians say stuff. Let's hope that Trump actually does follow through with more things than that we want for crypto. But you never know, right? Like, that's also something to keep in mind. Like, what if he actually goes in after inauguration, January 20th, and then he's like, I don't think I like crypto that much anymore. Like, that's also still a possibility. I hope not for somebody who's in crypto, but, you know, I'm just like, I gotta be bullish, but also pessimistic at the same time, okay? I have to be realistic. But anyways, so this apparently, because you could track all of this, that's the beauty of like crypto, but apparently 1 billion in Bitcoin to Coinbase was moved from the US because that's a lot. And they're saying that like basically if Biden tries to sell it all, that'll like screw over Trump's plan, which that in itself is just like a whole other can of worms, right? Like, don't you guys find it weird? Like, please tell me how you feel about this. Who thought it was a good idea? Okay, maybe, like, did the founding fathers of America think it was a good idea that you have a vote? And I get it, like, okay, it's probably the transfer, like, okay, you leave the White House, I come in, like, the transfer might be, like, very messy, and then so therefore, from November, when you find out who's going to be the next POTUS, you have to wait all the way to January 20th, like, this is literally, I think this is part of the Constitution, it has to be January 20th or something, right? Like, it's like 1/20, it's a date. But anyways, to wait that long to me, it just seems very, very wild. Why is it that long? Like, you're basically letting somebody who lost the White House to stay there and do a bunch of stuff. Like, not saying that he's gonna, like, Biden's gonna ruin America or anything, but, like, it just doesn't really make sense, because it's like, okay, Biden, like, the previous president would know what the next president wants to do, or at least what they claim they want to do. And then the previous president can then go do a bunch of stuff like selling off Bitcoins, what the next president doesn't want to do. So then you, like, kind of leave a mess for each other. And, like, same thing goes for Trump. Like, he could do that for whoever next is chosen. 4 years from now, gosh. I really hope that a multi-millionaire by the time I'm making a video like this 4 years from now. Anyways, that's just thinking out loud. But yeah, I think that's really weird that they kind of, like, allow this game of, like, multiple months of just, like, doing things, possibility of doing things. But anyways, so yeah, that's that. And I think the only entity making light of all of this is Coinbase, because if they're moving it to Coinbase and they're actually going to sell on Coinbase, I think, like, probably they would sell on Coinbase, because, like, why wouldn't they? Like, America. But if they do sell on Coinbase, or, like, whether Bitcoin is up or down, and, Biden's happy or Trump's happy, Brian Armstrong is going to be a happy man if that 1 billion is sold on Coinbase. But then there's, like, chats, like, talks about it, like, you can see it in comment sections. And this article I kind of, like, skimmed through, and it said, like, okay, that wouldn't be likely, it wouldn't be that possible for Biden to, like, actually be able to sell all that crypto by January before he has to go. I don't know. We'll find out if we see major dips in Bitcoin, and just how much of a damage can it really do, though, when it's, like, more than 1 point something. Let's go back into the chart. When overall Bitcoin is at, let's see here, 1.89 trillion. Okay, yeah, like, I could see 1 billion being, like, a big deal, but it's not like it's like 100 billion. 100 billion would be, like, more crazy. I don't know. That's my personal take on it. Okay, so that's that. And, oh, right. And then there was also this that is, I guess, considered bullish, even though today's kind of not the greenest day for crypto. Again, I think the next green major big day for crypto would be when Bitcoin crosses 110,000. Actually, just crossing $100,000 would be, like, great. Right now, I actually didn't have faith that it would cross 100,000. But now all my belief system's, like, out the door, because I'm, like, buying PayPay now, so I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. But in December, like, a couple months back even, I didn't think Bitcoin would ever get to 100,000 by December. And now I actually think it'd be weird if Bitcoin didn't get past 100,000 by the end of December. So we'll see if that actually occurs. But in other news, Trump taps, this is, like, today's news, Trump taps Paul Atkins for next SEC chair. This is from the Unchained Crypto, making good on his crypto promises. I love how, like, it's like, even if you didn't care about politics, but you're, like, invested in crypto, now you gotta, like, read all about all of these politicians. Atkins has been vocal in his support of the industry and was the first libertarian to serve as an SEC commissioner under President George W. Bush. Wow, he's been here a long time. Atkins, shown here at Trump Tower in 2016, is widely respected in conservative legal circles and amongst the establishment Republican Party. President-elect Donald Trump has selected pro-crypto Atkins to chair securities, SEC. According to the three sources familiar with the discussions, one source specified that Trump has reached out to Atkins, but is waiting on him to accept. By selecting Atkins, Trump is delivering on a promise he made to the crypto community during his campaign. Current chair Gary Gensler, who announced 2 weeks ago that he will resign on January 20th when Trump is inaugurated, has made himself a pariah in the crypto industry for pursuing what's been seen as a policy of regulation by enforcement. Atkins will now need to be confirmed by the Senate unless Trump chooses to pursue a recess appointment while the Senate is out of session. So I guess this is not 100%, but I guess Gary Gensler says he's for sure bouncing. But I don't know. I guess we'll find out once he actually resigns. I don't know how that works out. Like, what if, can Trump like fire Gary Gensler and just put in whoever he wants, even if Gary Gensler was like, I want to stay, and now I'm like pro crypto? I don't know. So yeah. What did I want to tell you guys? Yeah, another reasoning behind how I'm constantly like flip-flopping towards altcoins, more serious altcoins. Actually, like there's like 3 levels to crypto for me, and let me know like how many there are for you. But for me, there's Bitcoin, just Bitcoin, right? Remember, altcoins were created because they're not Bitcoin. So anyways, Bitcoin, and then there's the serious altcoins, which I call like Ethereum, ADA, like non-memes, Solana, and then there's Dogecoin, kind of like just the OG meme coin, which may or may not be like a crazy big deal in the future. And I think Elon Musk would have to play a hand in that if it's going to be a huge deal. Who knows, maybe easily accepted or used through payments for X, right? That's all I can think of for now, because right now I don't know any other major supporters that back up or even tweets about the words DOGE as often as Elon Musk. So anyways, to me, there's Bitcoin, there's a serious altcoins like Ethereum, and then there's Dogecoin, the OG, the original. And then you have all the other stuff. Like Chill Guy, like Floki, like, I don't know, Neuro, and just like all these PayPay, all these other coins that kind of came after Dogecoin because Dogecoin paved the way. So there's like really 4 types for me right now. And I'm not an investor of Bitcoin simply like one reason, which is actually a really dumb reason now I look back at it, because I decided that it was too expensive at 69,000. I actually decided it was too expensive back when it was 40,000 before it reached 69,000 in 2021. And then now obviously I'm just stuck in that position, and I feel like maybe that's how other people feel about like Bitcoin and about Dogecoin or Ethereum, right? Because like I have skin in the game and I still feel that way about Bitcoin. So imagine somebody that's not interested in crypto at all and actually thinks of it as a complete like Ponzi scheme or whatever. Not saying anybody's wrong, because I don't know. We'll see how things pan out in time. But I kind of get it, why people aren't interested in crypto. The people who aren't interested in crypto at all, I'm talking about, it makes sense, because it's kind of like how I'm standoffish about Bitcoin, because I'm like, oh, money's already made by the folks who would like invest in was like less than $10. Like, I'm not one of those people, so I'm never going to make money, which is really silly now thinking about it, because I did have more than 1 to 2 Bitcoins, I believe, at least at a time. And I think I bought it through either COINBASE or... no, I think it was COINBASE for like 8,000 each. So yeah, it was like a faulty idea I had in my mind, because that's more than 10x. And again, we talked about how hard it is to get 10x, and Bitcoin did pull a 10x within the last 8 years of my life. It hasn't even been 8 years. I got like, that's when I started to get it. I think it was like 2020. Oh my gosh, it's not even been like 5-6 years. But yeah, life-changing stuff. Had I known. But yeah, I get why people don't want to invest either, because they're like, if you feel like you're just late to everything, so you're just going to constantly feel like you're late to everything. So anyways, I have that like weird thought process still on Bitcoin, even though I already just admitted that I was wrong. But I guess it's one of those things where I'm like, I have the other 3 options. So I'm kind of like putting my money in all the other 3 options. But let's like take your hair out. I know it's pretty dry. It's pretty dry. I know. Too much other stuff. I gotta do this first, and I'll like take out my hair by the end of the night before I go out into public. Not that I really care, because I also walk in public like this. Like, no shame, guys. The older you get, and be thankful for you aging, because I think the older I get, the less I care. And that's why when my back was broken the other day, like when I sprained my back, I still did a live stream for you guys. I still walked out into the public. People probably like, what's wrong with her? Anyways, so I think I'm more focused on the other three. Like I'm focused more on like the serious altcoins, the Dogecoin, and then the really random stuff. And I've been thinking a lot about like, am I making the right decisions? Like in terms of gains, I'm talking 10x, 30x, even honestly like 5x right now is a pretty big deal. To get basically a lot in return, and that was my original idea in 2021 and 2020 when I was buying Dogecoin at like a third of a penny. Just like it's just like a very simple thought, and I still believe in that. The very simple thought is just I can't 100x with Bitcoin. But maybe I'm wrong on that, right? It depends on how long I live. If I live the next 1,000 years or whatever, yeah, maybe it could 100x. It should, right? At least I think that's what Michael Saylor would say. But I just kind of believed in more returns. And that's why I originally started investing in Dogecoin, period, because I just wanted more returns. So now Dogecoin is now in this position, along with like obviously Ethereum, the more serious stuff that I'm talking about. I guess XRP now is in that field as well. Not saying XRP can't do another 10x, but you know, those other coins that are higher on the coin market cap, it's all about coin market cap, right? Because then you really have to be realistic with how much money is really in the world and how many times you can like 10x. Right? Bitcoin's not going to 10x this year. Okay. I will bet you a cup of coffee. It's not going to 10x by the end of this year. I'm like sure of it because there's not that much money out there to be put into Bitcoin. Even if everybody sold their houses, it just wouldn't be enough. But yeah, I still love the altcoins. And I feel like because Dogecoin also just kind of grew so hard that now I still believe, like I think I said my estimate was always $1 to $3, like $1 to $3 for Dogecoin, the highest it can go within the next like 10-year range. I think I said that back in like even 2021. So I still stick to that because that means by 2031, I don't think Dogecoin is going to be more than $10. And considering it's not even like it's already at like 60 billion. And if it were to 10x, which wouldn't take it to $10, it would only take it to like, what is it, like 40 cents right now? It would only take it to $4. Even going to $4, that would be like 600 billion market cap, right? That's more than Ethereum. So I just don't see that happening anytime soon. Again, it could happen, but I just don't see it happening unless like maybe like closer to the end of the 10 years, right? So then I guess that's what I'm saying. Like I don't see Dogecoin doing a 10x, but then there's a lot of other altcoins I feel like it could. But then the other altcoins, it's riskier. But I'm constantly like thinking, okay, what I should do. Should I get out of a lot of these serious opportunities that are more safe in a sense? And then also I'm talking like stocks as well. Potentially getting out of safer stock plays and just putting that money into altcoins that are wild and very highly speculative, but with possible high returns. Yeah, so that's pretty much what's been on my mind a lot. And like I literally stay up at night because like I woke up at like 5:30 and the same thought was just going through my head. And I feel like I'm slowly playing into it. Like I have been selling a lot of my different positions, whether it's in the more serious altcoins or in my option plays or in stocks. Like I've been doing a lot of cashing out. And then also we're getting closer to the end of the year. So I want to deduct in terms of like how much I'm making. So that's just like what I like to do. By the end of the year, not everybody does it, but some losing positions, I just kind of want to have that on my tax statements. So if I'm already losing money on it and I don't really care to keep the position, I will just let it lose money officially by selling it and getting rid of the position. And then that kind of lowers the amount of money I made, right? At least you would see that when you do your taxes on whatever it is that you're using, your brokerage accounts. So yeah, I've been doing that, cashing out, whether it's green or red. And then I've been jumping more into the wild stuff, PayPay level stuff, PayPay itself. I don't have PayPay right at this moment, but I have been just doing like swing trades. which that's why I was telling you guys, I'm like, oh man, sometimes diamond handing is just maybe the way to go, because I've realized that me trying to jump in and out of all these different positions, I just end up jumping in higher at a higher price. Like, it would have just been better if I just diamond handed. So there's that. Yeah. Last thing I want to leave you guys with is, again, with the you really just don't know, but maybe diamond handing is better, is that I was talking with a friend. He's much older, so in his 70s, and he told me that he made like his house money. He bought a house thanks to Microsoft. And I mean, that was like a long time ago. And I looked up Microsoft just out of curiosity, because he said, I think it was like around the 80s. And then it turns out, I guess Microsoft like IPO'd. Let me pull up this Google search. But Microsoft IPO'd, it says here, Microsoft went public on March 13, 1986. With an initial public offering IPO price of $21 per share. The stock price increased to $35.50 by the end of the day, and the offering was called the IPO of the year by many analysts. And I just found that so insane, because do you remember when Coinbase IPO'd? I remember, because I bought it, and it went from something crazy like, I don't know, $100 or $200, all the $200 something dollars, I think, all the way to like 400 something. And even though it crashed to under 100 and then came all the way back up, it's still not at its IPO day price that I at one point made money, did not make money. I at one point put in a lot of money and then lost a bunch of money in. So yeah, sorry. Just wanted to vent on that. Oh, I'm so mad about that. I'm mad at myself. But anyway, so it's just kind of wild that like back in the day, people were more chill and relaxed in the 80s. And it's like $21 to $35 was considered like mind blowing. And now it wouldn't be anything. Like now you basically need to like 3x, 4x, 5x on your IPO price to be like shocker. Anyways, that's one thing I want to point out, but more about the fact that my friend told me, okay, back in the day, I guess in the 80s or whatever, he bought Microsoft stock, he made a bunch of money, and then he took that money and he bought a house with it, marriage, all that, like basically the American dream. And I think that's beautiful. And like I said, I'm one of those people too that like, if I just want a family, I just want to like settle in, I just want to like live in a nice place, have my own place. It's not just about like, house is such a great investment. It's also just about like the feeling of security and the feeling of like, this is my place. Like, I'm going to build it the way I like. So it's kind of just like a luxury good in a sense. I'm not really thinking of a home as just like a place because everybody else has it, but more of like, okay, this is something like I could turn into my own, and maybe it'll help me improve like other business ideals. So there's that. But I was thinking about his situation and how back in the day, if you had Microsoft stock in the 80s, I don't even know how many splits and stuff like they did afterwards. Like, how much money would the money that he spent already on that house be? It's insane to think about, right? Like, you probably have so much more money if you just kept your Microsoft stocks. So that took me back to like now. And do I really want a house like that? And I watch a lot of podcasts about like the guy, the psychology of money. I think there's a really good podcast that I watched. I think he was on Mr. CEO, Diary of a CEO guy. Search up that Diary of a CEO, Morgan Housel. Basically, he wrote a really great book. I need to read that book. My brother actually gave me that book. I need to read it. Psychology of Money. But I really like the podcast. And he basically talks about like, don't just get stuff. Like, don't buy a house just because everybody else has a house. Like, you might not be able to actually afford the mortgage, and there could be other investments and blah, blah, blah. And I fully believe in it. And I still have to think thoroughly about that. Whether I want to buy a house with money, or do I want to wait for like a giant crypto winter dip, which I personally believe and hope is going to still happen in like preferably 2026. I say preferably because like I don't have control. But if it follows like history, maybe 2026, just like 2022 would suck. And then I could buy, right? Like that would then be more life-changing money versus than maybe just buying a house where I don't see my house 10xing. At least that's not through history. The last couple of years it didn't 10x. It doubled, especially in California. Like a lot of homes that I was looking at back in like 2019 is now like way more than double actually. So that's kind of sad for home buyers. So yeah, I guess you really just, life decisions at the end of the day are just like really, really hard. So don't, I guess, be too sad about it. but opportunities only come around so often. And I think like the beauty of talking to people who are older as well is just like learning, hey, like all the opportunities that we have now are absolutely beautiful, and they had their opportunities around their time too, right? Like buying Apple early, buying Microsoft early when you guys were just in your mother's womb. Every moment in time, there's like all these opportunities for like, whether it's finance or relationships or what have you, self-improvement. And I think like when you do spot a good opportunity, you just have to take it, because imagine sitting on the sidelines of, let's say you knew about Bitcoin since like it was under $10 and you're still watching it when you could have easily changed your life like a million times. That is the ultimate crazy thing for me. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Smash the like button on your way out. I hope you enjoy this video. Subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out my other videos. There's a bunch, but I'm usually just like here randomly whenever I have time to do like a little live stream for you guys. And yeah, wish me luck, guys. I really, like I said, 4 years from now, I'd love to say that crypto helped me become a multi-millionaire. But I am diversified. I'm not 100% into crypto anymore. Like I basically was over 90% into crypto back in 2021. So thank you guys. Take care, and I'll see you soon.